Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night Aftermath, where we follow the story of a set of individuals in the Alamo City who are kind of building some things, having a little bit of a rough time, but also perhaps finding their niche where it may lie. The last we left off, our coterie, they had gathered together a barbecue in which they mingled and set up some beginning facets of what their neighborhood is going to be useful to them for. Perhaps they're going to start some contacts. Perhaps they're going to start a base on which they can feed. But the building blocks are there. And thus, after the barbecue and the night has ended, we're starting a new night for our coterie. Some interesting people were introduced to our lovely coterie members. Among them was an acquaintance of theirs that they had been dealing with for a little while so far. That was Marjani Carlu. But another kindred came to the party, who seemed specifically interested in our lovely Maria Higgs. Maria, why don't you give us an idea of what your thoughts are behind this individual and what your take on Marjani's warning to stay away from him? What do you intend to do?
Did that go through? Or?
Oh, did it? Derek?
Sorry, I didn't realize it. Dang. What a fantastic start. Money is currently going over everything that she encountered previously. And she only has one thing on her mind. Trying to find this Max. Or as other kindred call him, Carnage. Interesting name. Apparently, one of the more vicious individuals involved in San Antonio. Apparently, some things went awry, and he is tolerated. But the warning from Arjani still rings in many's ears to not to approach that he is an unwelcome individual. But he went out of his way to find Maria. That makes things particularly complicated. Maria, a young fledgling with little answers and little leverage of her own, needs to end up finding some way to end up reconciling this absence of understanding and her need to end up assisting the coterie, who is effectively her lifeline. There's trouble brewing in her mind, but she'll seek him out. She has to. What does it mean to be a fiend? Is she right when she thinks that the devil's inside her? The beast and its impulses in her mind she calls Old Scratch. Puts her identity and her faith into question. As she is pursuing down this path, let us remember for a moment that this once was a kindly individual. But the beast will eventually make monsters of us all. That's the only truth she has to look forward to.
The truest of all of the curses of the kindred in this particular event. But then we have Noel, who you've been decidedly putting some things together as to the potential problem that Max could be. What are your thoughts? And who has really struck your interest as far as the people that you have been introduced to as well?
Well, let's begin with the easier of the two. Mr. Ivanov. Yuri Ivanov. An exceptionally interesting man. I think he would be a lot of use, all things considered. I think that he... I think he could be exceptionally useful for building some coterie resources. Something I think Faust would definitely be on board with, so to say. Besides that, I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people who know a lot about the Ramirez situation, because that's also where I'm looking for, how you say, information to get onto that, so that Marjani doesn't chuck a fit, so that Marjani can have her precious little drugs trade back. Although with the inordinate amount of law enforcement presence in this neighborhood now, I don't think she's going to get her way. Unfortunately, I'm most likely going to be the one who has to tell her that. Because even if we figure out what happened to the Ramirez family, there's going to be a real difficult time trying to get stuff back together, such that the cops won't catch. And then there's Carnage. His very presence here worries me. It worries me in a way that I can't deal with him if he decides that he wants to get rid of us. Ray can't deal with him if he decides he wants to get rid of us. He's a ticking time bomb that we have to plan and play around. Because if he decides that he doesn't want us here anymore, well, there's very little we could do to stop him, aside run behind the coattails of the Baron and hope that the Baron is strong enough. But I get the distinct feeling that with the way that Marjani talked, even the Barons take pause in reference to Carnage. Between, if not that, then the only other person I could ever even think to run to is a legend. No idea if they would even exist. They say that they do. Those on the street, those in the know, they say that they do. Whether they actually do or not is another question. And I'd rather not put my trust in myth and legend.
Yes, it is. The story goes that Carnage and his pack toppled the Camarilla of Amarillo. And with the help of the barony of Jameson, drove off the Sabbats in this that were attacking this city. Legends seem to abound in this place. Ahurei, what is your take? You have made an interesting statement to Marjani in that you think that taking Carnage on board and perhaps learning some things from him is the better alternative than shying away from him.
Yeah. Make him feel at home. People always fuck up when they're relaxed. Because they're not thinking you're out there to stab them in the back. Where Carnage is concerned, well, it's clear he's got skills and know-how that, frankly, we can all use. Where he's concerned, I think it's better to have eyes on him and make use of him rather than sit him in some back street and hope to God that he doesn't move around in secret. He's going to. That's what all kindred do. But, no. No, he's definitely an interesting fellow. Frankly, I'm a little bit concerned, though. Maria. She, I had a chat with him in private. The only one of us that did manage to talk to him in private. He showed interest in her, apparently. And she wants to talk to him. I can tell she wants to talk to him. And I can't really blame her. Somebody that might know something? Hell yeah. I'd do the same thing in her shoes. So, I'm gonna back her up on it. But we'll see where that goes.
We'll certainly have to see. See what answers you might be able to provide and if Maria's gonna even share those answers with you. But then there's the face of this particular coterie, Mr. Faustus Buford. You spent a lot of time mingling with the mortals of this particular barbecue for the better half of this social gathering, but when Carnage walked up to the group and then abruptly left, not with any incident, of course, but that's what caught your eye. And the rest of the night was followed with more mingling. Do you have any intentions with what you've been able to gather for this particular neighborhood?
The party went smoothly, somewhat. I feel disorganized, honestly. Much of every endeavor I undertake seems to not carry a heavy gleam or any sense of weight behind it. Maybe it's just myself, maybe it's how I approach. I'm not sure if it's simply the methods I follow, the efforts I'm making, or how I'm simply perceived. It's not to say I'm worried. No, I'm just disorganized for sure. I've been confirmed. I have a stalker of some sorts. He himself said it. That was rather incriminating, considering.
Yes. Mr. Sebastian Moore.
Considering I've seen him before, in passing. I considered it earlier. I made sure to make a note, a report, just in case. Because it is to say, I saw him a bit far too much in far too many precarious places in Dallas. I wanted to make sure. Hide some tracks. But now that's on my doorstep once again. You think I'd be able to avoid it? I suppose not. Then there's the issue of Carnage. I'm gonna be honest. Against perhaps my better judgment and Marjani's warnings. Much of what Maria said, much of how she expressed herself was on a basis of what she is, and how others view her. I feel like I share that sentiment. There's always an image to be had. And the difference between her and I is... No, not a difference at all, actually. Similarly, what identities we had before were ripped away. In some manner, some sense. I just had the benefit of making my own. Still yet, a part of me lives. And I worry she doesn't believe she does. I want to facilitate her in her needs. Even though it may be more for the worst. I'm not sure what the Sabbat are. I'm not sure I've ever encountered any or understand them entirely. But I want to see to it that Maria has some answers. Can create expectations of herself that aren't expectations others have of her. Her own independent identity. And if that means finding answers, regardless of them being more detrimental or not. It's part of the nature that we are kindred. We know the good and the bad, if there is any good at all. In the other terms of it, there's a healthy level of distrust with my coterie. And there's outright malicious intent that I even facilitated a facetious attitude with. If I can help it, moving forward, I want to repair it. We need to act as a coterie. We need to act as a community.
To be a coterie is to be a united front, is how your mentor, Mr. Wolford, would put it. That you're supposed to be pillars of something greater. But that could be the Camarilla in him talking. And so
Whether
we join our coterie on this new night, and I would like the four of you to make rouse checks. It seems that your beast is no louder than it was when you left it. The party was taxing on some of you, but it's not haunting you this evening as well. So one can be thankful for small favors. Not that it's disappeared, it's just not any less manageable than it was. And so, the four of you, I suppose, have convened at the shared haven for the moment to determine where it is that the four of you are going to go tonight. Go about your personal business, go about some coterie business. What do you all intend to do?
Well, Maria's taking some time to end up going out. Mostly to end up using. And she'll end up trying to end up finding some way to end up getting a phone call. She's got a number to dial. She's trying not to end up drawing much more attention to herself than she has to. It ain't given time. There's a hesitation right now. Honestly, she's not sure where to end up going at this point, and she still ends up feeling the bones that are still in her rib cage, still knitting together, courtesy of Noel. Kind of a reminder as to how far this level of trust has gotten. So, at this point, she's packing Diamond into her purse and just getting ready to end up getting on with the night.
Noel, what are your intentions for tonight?
I need to look into Carnage. His presence here constitutes something. And he wouldn't show up without a reason. And so, I need to figure out what that reason is. Why is he here? Why is he interested in Maria?
I suppose the most direct thing is to ask him yourself.
Yeah, that's that's a difficult endeavor. That's how I ask for death. He flicks his wrist and I'm gone, so and there's no way that I won't get not necessarily a lie for an answer, but not an honest one. Also, he's slimy, and I don't like looking at him.
Slimy indeed. He's not a pretty face.
Look, if he were any more greasy, I would be afraid. I was afraid that if we went any closer to the fire pit, he would spontaneously combust like the rest of us. His kindred nature aside.
Hmm.
So we need to figure out what he's doing here and what he wants. That's the big thing, and I think both Faust and Ray would agree with me on that. At least slightly, anyway.
And strangely enough, the three of you wake before Maria does. And Maria comes down the stairs last when the four of you, as the four of you are getting the rousing for the evening. She's the last one to come down the stairs.
Hmm.
Before Maria shows up, Faust makes a point to actually check in with Ray. I push the door and just gently knock.
Yeah, what's up?
I wanted to check in with you.
Uh, yeah, what can I do for you?
May I open the door?
Yeah, come in. Faust would find Ray going through some things. She's got a knife off to the side that seems to have been freshly cleaned, and a spare set of clothes that she's packing into an old bag.
I see you're preparing for the evening.
Yeah, well, kinda need to.
You disappeared yesterday, in the middle of the party.
Yeah. The beast got a little bit rowdy.
You see. This evening, Faust looks at the bag, thinks about it. If I remember correctly, the terms for you to be satisfied are more complicated than the rest of us here.
Yeah, you could say that. What are you getting at, Faust?
I want to assist you, if there is a way that I can.
Nah, you really don't.
What happens if you don't feed? Tonight, that is.
I might be able to last maybe 1 or 2 more nights. Puts me at a higher risk of losing control, and if that happens, well, we won't go into that.
Then you're gonna need more than just a bag of clothes, I assume. Look.
What do you mean?
I understand you don't trust me, but I can be reliable. You have reason to not trust me. Absolutely. But your success doesn't mean the rest of the coteries' success.
Bray kind of sits back on her heels, resting her arms on her knees, her hands kind of dangling between her legs, and she kind of looks up at Faust. I'm going to go out and I'm going to kill somebody tonight. Somebody is going to die tonight. Then I'm going to take them to the place that I normally take them. I'm going to skin them. I'm going to cut them up. And I'm going to eat. You don't want to be there for that. It's not a pretty sight, Faust.
Faust nods. I don't imagine it to be. But in this evening, if things do not turn out the way you expect them, I want you to know. I am available for you.
I appreciate that. When it comes to things like this is what I do. And the more hands involved, the bigger the risk.
There's already so much risk to be had.
Exactly. But I can mitigate that when I'm on my own. And it's better for me to be the only one involved than it is to drag the rest of you guys into this. So, I don't mean to be rude, but this is something that I do need to do by myself.
Very well. I don't doubt that. I leave the offer open if any hang-ups occur.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind.
Foster returns to the main room and makes sure to close the door rather quietly behind him. He didn't really enter, he just stood in the doorway.
As he leaves, Ray lets out a sigh and rubs her brow. Yeah, somebody's gonna die tonight. And it fucking sucks. 2 nights in a row. Somebody's gonna die.
Such is the curse that you bear, Ray.
Such is the curse.
But the 4 of you are now down in the main area of the main dining area of the house. Maria, the last one to come down, do any of you share conversations before you all go your separate ways?
Miss Higgs.
When Maria ends up coming down, well, down the hall, her face is that of a, well, it seems to be just a little bit more, less refined. It's more obvious where the makeup's showing, where there's visually something just off. When she looks to you, she doesn't look at you with her eyes so much as her head kind of turns to your general direction, the eyes just keeping going forward.
The party was excellent last night. You've been an excellent host.
I appreciate that very much, Vance. But it's Maria. You're part of the group, after all. Formalities are for strangers and business partners. We're supposed to be something more than that, right? That's how this works.
I suppose you're correct. If that is how you wish to be addressed, I will kindly.
Well, it's just you and me right now. She hoists her purse onto her shoulder, goes to get her shoes on. I think it's fair warning. I'm about to go undertake a task that's not gonna be looked kindly upon our host, but I gotta do right by me first. Given the need for openness, at the very least, I figured you might want to know.
You're out to speak with this Carnage character.
I have questions. He got answers. Like I said, he might be so crooked if he ate a nail, he'd probably spit up a corkscrew. But he hadn't lied to me. It's a refreshing take, to be honest with you. And honestly, I don't feel particularly threatened by him.
No. I don't believe he is in any way trying to threaten you.
That's a refreshing thing.
Sure it is. Maria, if I can be quaint with you.
She's putting on her shoes. Very much, almost more of a mechanical motion. She's not trying to keep her balance, she just does. It looks right, but the small muscles that keep you upright, you're trying to force yourself to stay upright, just they ain't firing. It's just doing.
Is Faust able to observe this fairly easily?
Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to be doing much to hide it.
He makes note of it. In his mind, he's thinking something went wrong somewhere. Something went wrong. Maria.
You're about to say something. Yeah. You can be quaint. Or whatever word you used.
It isn't out of distrust, but rather instead, if you need backup, if you need a support, I want to be available for you and facilitate your meeting with Carnage. I don't have concerns, so to speak, but rather instead, I understand why you're going to seek him out.
I appreciate that. She stops for a moment and considers. And the corner of her mouth raises a bit. Yeah. Yeah, you can help. I'm led to believe that Ray's not in a good place right now.
She's determined herself indisposed at the moment. She'll be busy.
And the reason she's going it alone, and you're requesting that I don't,
More so, suppose, even if Carnage does not appear to wish harm, it's capable he might.
he might inflict grievous injury upon one of our persons, is what you're getting at?
He's capable of it.
Yes. Yes, he is. Well, then I think we best end up having somebody who can handle themselves if that were the case. And given Ray is no longer available at this current moment, I guess it falls to no other option than I dear no. So why don't you go and grab him? drag him by his hind quarter and near to the cab, and we'll go see if we can't make an appointment for a new car.
Can I insight check to see? No one has told Faust about the whole Noel and Maria thing.
Yeah.
But can I insight check to see
By
if...
all means.
Alright. No one said anything.
Yeah,
And he's
absolutely.
like,
This is a manipulation subterfuge more than anything.
Yeah, if you're trying to cover up the fact that you're injured, and
Nope, not trying to cover up the fact that I'm injured. Just this
cover up
is
the fact
this
that
is
you're
more of
angry
a-
at him. Yeah.
Not even that. It's Maria has a goal in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a
Uh,
wit's insight for you, Mr. Beeford.
alright. No modifiers, correct?
Nope, none. Not unless you have an insight proficiency or specialty.
Not that I know of. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Nope. Noel and Maria are totally getting along.
Yeah. There's nothing suspicious going on here.
You can willpower that if you like.
Possible.
You need 3 successes to meet or a crit.
But that's your choice.
Maria. I just want to let you know. I think Marjani is wrong about you.
You're sweet, Faust. Really, you are. I think I would have liked you in my breathing days. That being
Potentially not.
said, well, between the two dead things, there ain't much to end up discussing. We understand each other just fine. But I would appreciate a gentleman of your stature accompanying me and to end up having Noel as a... well, tell him to bring his sword out. You might get to put it in somebody. Sure, first thing for everything for that. First time for everything with that bookworm. She starts to go outside, waiting for the others to show.
And, Faust will go ahead and retrieve Noel.
It's at this point that Ray kind of comes down the stairs and heads outside.
Ahurei has exited the building and is off to go do what it is that she will do. And the other 3 of you are intending to go meet Carnage. So, I suppose we'll follow Ray first for this little endeavor. Ray, you're out on the streets of your little domain. The night is cool. It's a pleasant Sunday night, so far as you can tell. And you intend to hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. She takes her vehicle, goes for a little drive, looking for anywhere around that might be used as a late night running path. Somewhere that maybe those who are a little bit more fitness conscientious might use within the domain.
So what kind of vehicle do you drive, Ray?
She drives an old Ford, I think it is. Sorry, I can't remember. I had a image of it.
Is it a truck? A sedan?
Yeah, it's a trayback with cab front, big
Okay.
bull bar on the front, and a couple of spotlights on it.
Hmm. Big heavy duty vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. A few rust spots here and there, but it works for what she needs. The stereo's been disconnected, pulled out. She doesn't like having that kind of thing in her vehicle. Makes it. Those things hook up with phones these days. It's just not good.
Hmm. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. She's got plastic sheeting over the back seat. She's probably gonna need it. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a mess.
And you've done this many, many, many times, both in your living and unliving days, it seems.
Yeah, well, in my living days, I had a actual target in mind. I had a name and a place to pick them up, go kick the shit out of them, and kill them. These days, there's not really any research beforehand. It's better to not know who you're targeting. But still, same kick as always, so that look they get when they realize that it's the end and you have to watch the light seep out of their eyes.
It's
There's just
exhilarating.
something about that. Something about it.
The beast finds it exhilarating. That's for damn sure.
The beast isn't the only one. But then you get that little kick of guilt in the back of your head. Little piece of whatever humanity's left, and you just killed somebody. Always keep that in mind, that these are people. These were once humans. These were once people with lives and friends and family. You treat the bodies with some sort of respect. You don't let it go to waste. But that's the food chain. Just another part of it, and I'm the next one up.
A shark looking at fish in a pond.
Or an orca looking at seals sitting on the edge of the water, just waiting for it to slip in and make a mistake.
An apex predator. I would like you, since this running path, you're looking for a running path inside your own domain, and you have an idea of this domain enough to know where those kinds of things are, so I would like you to make me a strength brawl at your feeding difficulty.
No modifiers?
No modifiers. It's not hard. It is absolutely easy to find someone who's gone down the wrong path, maybe turned in a darker section of this particular running path that they really shouldn't have, because you, like the quick predator that you are, you grab them and you quickly knock them unconscious so that you could take them back to your facility.
Yeah.
They're out cold.
Grab them. I don't want him waking up. I want to make it quick. Fear spoils the meat.
Oh, but it's so good to watch him squirm.
It is. It is. She pulls out a knife. Decent size. It's great for this kind of thing. And in the shadows, in the bushes of wherever she is, she just slides it up into the base of the neck and twists, severing the spinal cord from the brainstem. The person probably doesn't even know that they're dead yet.
Precision kill. Now it's just a matter of whether or not you can get it home quickly enough before it goes cold. Does that matter to you, Ahurei?
Not really. Not really.
I suppose so long as the knife is still jammed inside that wound, this person's not going to bleed out, so you can keep all of the blood inside the vessel until you get it home.
That's exactly right. She picks them up, bridal style, covering the knife with her arm. Carries them to her truck. Loads them into the back, covers them with her jacket. She gets pulled up. Oh, it's a friend of mine who just passed out in the back seat. Just taking him home. Yeah, taking him home.
Taking them home.
She parks a little ways away. Well, no. She parks behind the place, as usual, covering everything. It's the same as last night when she brought that corpse down here. Oh, now it's got another one to join it. A friend. Carries the body inside, tossing it over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
Some people gotta die.
She carries it down the stairs, and she sets up to eat, to divide this corpse up. Nothing's going to go to waste. Any spillage is going to get set aside, and well, she can mix that in with another corpse maybe. Let it soak for a bit. Pieces that she cuts off, she debones and wraps them up. Puts some of it in the freezer and some of it to the side. She'll have to take some of it home so that it's there, it's accessible. And the skin, she takes off and she stretches it out. Sets it to dry to start the tanning process. Human leather. It's good. It works for so many things. The bones, she sets them aside to boil them later. She'll make something out of them, maybe trinkets or something. Sell them as animal bone. The clothes that she's taken off of this body, she goes through and she pulls out all the valuable items. Folds the clothes up, sets them to the side. She'll wash them later. She'll find a use for those.
Doesn't hurt to have an extra pair of clothes. They might even
Doesn't
fit.
hurt. But these little pieces of valuables that she pulls off, she tucks them away in her pocket. Takes the ID, any money that she had, this victim had on them.
Sadly,
Tucks
there's
them
no
away in her
cash,
pockets
but
as
there's a
well.
credit card.
Credit cards. Credit cards. Credit cards. Yeah, well, she could do something with that. Maybe. And the phone. Do they have a phone?
Yeah. Give me a high or low.
Hi.
It's a nice phone, too. Might be able to hawk it for a pretty penny.
Yeah. Maybe. She, sits about deleting all the information off of it. Takes the SIM card out and snaps it. She doesn't want anybody calling. Yeah. Wonderful. She takes one of those pieces that she sets aside and she starts to eat.
Resonance only comes to you out of devouring the heart. So, are you devouring the heart tonight, or are you saving that for another meal?
She'll save that one for another meal.
Okay. Then, in total, you have 5 temporary dots of food.
Okay.
That includes the one that you've already stored.
I would like to use 3 of those. No, 2 of those.
2 of those in total. So you have 4 remaining. No, 3 remaining. You take the meat, you prepare it how it is that you feel that is necessary for you to prepare it, and large blood vessels and meat and things don't satisfy you nearly as well as maybe the juicy liver or heart does, but it's satisfying enough. The juicy bits you save for later, for when you're a little bit more desperate for something a little more filling.
But it should be enough to quiet the beast for the night.
That does reduce you to hunger 1.
There's a part of her that's glad she didn't take Faust up on his offer for help.
Actually, I
She's
think that would
told them
reduce you
all.
to hunger 0, since you did do this as a kill.
Oh? She only took 2 dots.
Right. But you killed this individual to get it. So those 2 for now will reduce you to hunger 0. That's not true for the rest of it.
Yeah. She's glad that she didn't bring Faust along. She wonders if the little Ventru boy would have been able to stomach this. There's a lot of prep. A lot of prep involved.
It does take quite a bit of time.
Well, it's better that he doesn't see such a thing. He seems like the sheltered type.
For now, I'm going to ask that you take 3 stains on your humanity.
Yep.
We'll mitigate it with touchstones and convictions later. But you have fed And it's probably approaching midnight now after all of this prep that you've done. Of storing, of tanning, of collecting, starting the boiling. A person in pieces now. Your beast is very happy with you. It's quieted down. Those impulses are less rowdy. Just like every other time that you've taken a person to pieces and devoured what's useful out of them.
Nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. What do you intend to do next?
She takes a dot worth of food with her, stowing it, wrapping it up, and stowing it in her vehicle until she gets back to the haven. She takes all those items, those objects that she took off of the corpse, the phone, and anything else of value. She's got somebody that can handle this. She knows where to find them. She would like to go and visit Paul.
Good old Paul. The lovely pawnbroker that you know. He definitely lets you know that he can get rid of the items that, you want to get rid of, as far as for money. Having a nice cell phone that's freshly erased of all data. Not that he knows what you did with it and where you got it from. He can give it to you for a nice little chunk of change. You have the
Thanks,
credit
man.
card at your disposal for any resources that you may need for the time being until somebody catches on that this person went missing. But that's not your concern right now.
Ah, sitting pretty. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you hear anything that's happening in the neighborhood? People don't usually come in here with gossip, do they?
Not particularly. I'm kind of a don't ask, don't tell kind of establishment.
That's fair. That's
I don't
fair.
ask, they don't tell. That's how I live my life.
Alright. Well, thanks for your help, then. Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Have a good night, man. And she leaves.
You have a good one too.
She heads back to the haven. She's gonna need to refrigerate this meat.
That's fair enough. For now, we're going to catch up with the other three, as they have plenty of time before they're going to catch up with Ahurei again. The three of you are together. Are you all in the same vehicle then?
I would suppose so, provided the other two could stand being in the same vehicle together.
I am more than fine.
I'm also fine.
I suppose I'm driving then. That is to say, I turned to Maria and simply asked,
Pardon me.
did he provide you a location?
Guess I need to ask the ST. Would Maria have had time to contact Carnage before or during the fade to black between scenes, or do you want that contact being called now?
In case of that, do you own your own cell phone?
I would believe so. It's part of my own masquerade at this point.
Yeah. Then you would have been able to call him from your cell phone if you had decided
Alright.
to do so.
Most certainly, then.
Then
Oh.
you have arranged a location to meet.
That doth remind me, ST.
Yes.
I'm just going to rouse to heal a single superficial.
Perfect. Do it. Is anyone else healing or rousing for any reason?
I'm gonna rouse to heal the other one, considering I haven't gotten any hungrier.
And that's
I think that I will take that same game.
okay. Noel, you knit the bruising and the puncture wounds that you might have sustained during your little altercation with Maria without any consequence, to be quite honest. You feel pretty happy that the beast isn't any more rowdy still than it was.
Yes. It'll be me taking off the bandaging and whatnot that I was using to masquerade the wounds. Again, we had made the little story that I'm no good with a hammer.
The bruising seems to have worn off.
Alright, let's see what Maria can do. That's 1 healed out of 3. That's 2 healed out of 3. That's 3 out of 3. No hunger. Wow.
The beast
Okay.
is very calm in all of you today.
Be thankful for small favors.
Thankful for small favors.
Yeah. The rest.
Nothing strikes the 3 of you, the 4 of you, at all today as any hungrier.
Well, let's not count our chicks just yet.
Yes, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. So, at this point, no one would have known that there was an altercation between you and Noel, Maria. No one would know the wiser. But you instruct Faust on where to drive to meet up with Carnage, and he's selected a fairly public place. Not terribly public, but also at the same time not private either.
Fantastic.
You get the impression that he understands the want and the need for secrecy and privacy.
I'm just assuming that if he needs to get rowdy, he'd like to be able to end up doing so without watching eyes and cameras.
That's also a thought. But you arrive. And you arrive to find him already there. It's kind of a park. You find yourself in a fairly remote portion of Marjani's domain. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. But it seems private enough.
Fair.
And he greets you with a smile. a very greasy looking and sharp toothed looking smile.
I do the same, much as I can. Though, I think it's very clear she's forcing the action. Not to say she's not grateful, more that the little things, smiling with the eyes, just don't seem to register.
Hmm.
As we roll up, I simply park the vehicle, turn off all the lights associated with it. I'll stay by the car. I'll be available around here. I'll keep an eye out from afar. If anything happens, you can count
You
on me.
sure?
I'll keep pace if you end up walking.
Alright then. She looks to Noel, just looks at him for a moment before she turns her head back to where she's supposed to be walking and starts hoofing it on over. Doesn't say a word.
Noel, are you also staying behind?
Yeah, I'll be sticking with Faust.
I'm actually going to be outside of the vehicle. I decide to rest myself on the hood of the car.
When it's clear Noel isn't following, she stops and looks. Aren't you coming? Told you to bring your sword.
No. You're a man of answers. Your insight is imperative to us. Make nice with our neighbors, will you? And Faust just passes Noel a wink.
Quite. Yeah.
So you are going to be joining Maria and Carnage?
Yeah, I'll go join Maria and Carnage.
I want to make a note
Mm-hmm.
that if they start walking away and out of range, for them to 1, see me, 2, hear me. That at that point, I will be walking along so that I am in range. That's the only thing I care about right there.
Okay. So if they do walk, you are walking. You are walking with them, but not with them.
Yep.
Fair
I
enough.
am available, but I'm leaving this. This is Maria's thing. And I'm leaving it to her. And for Noel, he's information guy. He wants the both of them want answers. That's to them. I'll find out later from them.
Fair enough. And Maria and Noel, you walk up towards Carnage, who's kind of leaned back into a bench and got a leg crossed and an arm draped across the back of it, and has been watching you as you approach and just kind of grins at the both of you. Hi. I wasn't expecting you were bringing company. I thought you were coming by yourself.
Well, there were certain individuals who would have been upset if I ended up doing that.
Can only imagine. I'm
Well,
actually very surprised that you called.
Why ever would that be?
Well, I imagine that, given who else was attending the party, that she would have told you to stay away from me.
She did.
She was right to do that.
Probably.
And yet you did it anyway. You got balls, kid.
Right now, let me lay it down then. If I end up following that, I don't get any orders and I don't end up here doing anything. You're the only person that I know who makes Marjani a little nervous.
Yeah, I make a lot of people nervous. It's kind of my thing.
She kind of looks to know.
Do I make you nervous, kid? He's just giving you like this sinister grin.
Quite frankly, if you didn't, I would either be exceptionally bold or exceptionally stupid, and I know I'm not the latter, and I really don't think I've got the cojones for the former.
Very self-aware of you.
You end up saying that you had a better understanding of where things were and you'd like to be able to speak more openly.
Yes, and
No here likes to end up knowing what's up. And bluntly, no one can believe me if I end up saying what came out of your mouth anyway, so I might as well end up having somebody who can corroborate when you end up here telling me something. He's particularly knowledgeable and might help put some pieces together so I don't ask a whole bunch of questions and wasting your time.
so what do you know about me, Noel?
Let's see.
What's Marjani told you?
You introduced yourself as Max, but let's not use that name. I'm able to call you Carnage, right?
I prefer it, yes.
Cool. That pleasantry out of the way. She has told me that you, well, possibly, maybe not so much anymore, but you definitely did have allegiance to the Sabbat.
Hmm.
Although now, as far as she's aware, she says that you maintain that you're an anarch.
Potato, potato?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, maybe.
Then you've got the matter of you being Clan Bruja, right?
Yes. Very astute.
Hmm. Well, that means that if you really wanted to, you could rip off either of our limbs and beat us to death with them with nary a sweat.
Hmm. I like to think that I'm very good at it too. I have
Oh, I
only,
bet.
I've only just made it my living for the past 75 years.
75 years.
Something like that. I forget.
Interesting thing, yeah.
The older you get, the more the
I al-
time seems to blend together.
I also know that most of your form of pack no longer exists.
Hmm. That's actually
By your hand, no yes.
That's technically not true. They fucked off to maybe go fuck up some other bullshit or get swindled by Camarilla lackeys. Just maybe not here. Dredge and Veronica were very good at what they do. Well, I say were. They still are, I guess. But I haven't seen hide nor hair of them since we drove them off, so who's to say what actually happened?
Hmm. Dredge and Veronica.
Yeah.
What? I mean, why didn't you tell us a little bit about them? I mean, you used to run with them, right?
Yes, and I know them very, very well. I know their tactics, and no, I don't suspect that they're dead. I didn't kill them, so I suspect they're somewhere. They got away from me,
Probably
slippery bastards.
a bit of animosity there, Carnage.
They're traitors. They're traitors to the Dark Father, and I really, really do not appreciate the manipulation that happened to them. And so, yes, I was very, very concerned about their spiritual well being, and thus had to drive them away. Well, I was going to kill them, but they, like I said, slipped away.
Hmm.
You're talking about spiritual well-being.
Yes. Very spiritual lot, this Sabbat. You heard the
The Dark
creation myth.
Father.
Or I say myth. Most believe it to be a myth. Yes, the Dark Father. The Dark Father, Cain
Oh.
himself.
Okay. I would know with a Colt 3 and Intelligence 4. I would know who Kane is, right?
You would. You absolutely
Yeah.
would.
I see. So that's what the Sabbat ascribe themselves to a religious fanaticism. In a sense.
I mean, a lot of what we do is ritualistic, yes.
Alright.
And it is the Dark Father who is the progenitor of all of us, and thus where we stem all of our powers.
I know there are some who would dispute that, but I can understand.
They spew lies.
No, much as I'd love to end up continuing this conversation, we end up continuing this conversation in a way that doesn't end up poking the man who, as you so deftly put it, can tear your arm out from your socket and beat you to death with it.
Yes, and I'm very passionate, and you really do not want to be riling my passions, young man.
Oh no, that was not my intent at all. I do apologize.
Yes, so we don't bring up any of the heresy that other Canaanites believe.
Hmm.
Because that just rustles my jimmies to something fierce.
Hmm.
Alright, let me get to a more pragmatic question then.
Mm-hmm.
You said that Veronica has a particular set of tactics, something I need to watch out for. If she's still in, I want to know.
I don't know that she's here or not, which is the sad truth of it, in that I don't have friends in this city. I have people who tolerate me, but only tolerate my existence. They don't give anything to me, not even if I were to buy it off of them for whatever it is they're selling it for. They don't want to do business.
We might be able to appreciate that.
Like I said, same reason they don't like me is the same reason they don't like you, Maria. And I take great offense to that.
Hmm.
Now you end up saying that.
Yes.
So, what? I end up coming up in here and they end up calling themselves Anarchs. I'm Anarch. You think different, and they think different.
Yes, I don't necessarily believe that hiding what it is that we are is really all that productive, let's be honest, because the Kine are our servants. They're nothing more than food. Why pretend to be one? I only I only accommodate them because if I didn't, I'd have a swarm of ants coming down on me. I pity them, honestly.
Well, I guess that's some hope for you then, because you're still capable of it.
Hmm. Well, you say that there's no reason to hide amongst them.
No, none. Why? Why would we do that?
Have you ever heard of the adage of the wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yes? What are you getting at?
What I'm getting at is that the maintained camouflage helps to be a better hunter, a less recognized hunter. Because a hunter who is recognized at the top of the chain becomes a target. And
Blah,
whilst some
blah,
people might
blah,
revel
blah,
in
blah,
that,
blah.
To be fair, no, we're here for answers. We're not here to end up going in a debate course.
Yes, and that sounds very Camarilla, if I do say. Must uphold the traditions.
oh, I couldn't give a rat's about the traditions.
No, but anarchs care about the masquerade. Fuck.
I follow it simply because it's convenient, nothing more. If it wasn't, I'd ditch it.
Then why not ditch
Because,
it,
I mean,
kid?
because it's inconvenient for me to do so.
How so? You're so much more powerful than any human could possibly be. What do you have to fear for them?
No, it's not humans I fear.
Then what do you fear?
I fear the hand of vengeance.
The hand of vengeance. What do you mean
The
by
hand
that?
of vengeance. Oh, you don't know about the hand of vengeance?
I don't know if you're using a metaphor or if you're using a title, Cammy.
Oh, I'm using a title.
Uh-huh.
Reclamation of clan secrets and all that. Unkind, don't want to get on their bad side.
Right.
But that's getting off topic.
Yeah.
We're here so
Yeah.
that Maria can get answers.
Yes. Sorry. My
So,
darling.
So you,
Veronica,
yeah, Veronica.
Yes.
I'd like to end
Veronica.
up knowing a little bit more about Ma.
So, as you are fairly aware now, you are Clan Zamisi. A shapeshifter of sort.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it.
I'm sure you've already started to test those abilities at this point.
A few others. Noticing a few things. Get along with animals surprisingly well. I end up having the need to poke at all the pieces that make up a human being.
The innate curiosity.
Yeah. And I also end up noticing that I can play around with words, I don't know, I think it's starting to affect my own vitae.
Good. You're coming into
Good.
your own. You're settling into your abilities. That's good.
Yeah. My ability things, concern me. Actually, the biggest concern I have is the things that me not a few minutes ago suddenly seem like an afterthought right now.
Mm.
See, you end up talking about the Dark Father, you end up talking about Cain.
Mm-hmm.
You talking, when you say Cain, you talking Cain and Abel.
The one and only.
And we come from him.
Yep. The story goes, as you have, I no doubtedly read, that he was cast out of the Garden of Eden by his father Adam. Eventually, at some point, he was cursed.
Killing his brother Abel, cursed by God.
Cursed by God.
Telling me that what's going on here is a little slice of divinity here.
Exactly.
Okay, that brings a lot of questions that I don't think we need to end up getting into. We'll be here all night. Oh, God.
I got all night.
Those would be more personal in this regard. This is the greater whole. You talk about Zamisi. I've never seen another in this city. Why is that?
Well, that's mostly because most of them are either still part of the Sabbat and have more or less wandered off to pick off the Sabbat cities of North America, or I should say Camarilla cities, or they've followed all of the elders out to the Middle East. Because let's be honest, they're all getting old and being drawn to their home countries, as it were. God knows why. Maybe it's their own elders speaking to them and telling them what to do. The ancient ones telling them what to do.
You say that with some vitriol in your voice.
Yes. Because that's who's in our heads, Maria. The ones that causes the impulses. That's the ancient Zemitzi. His will coming out in you, where you don't have control. I keep mine on a very tight leash because I do not want that myself. I know what sets me off. I know what sets him off. And thus I stay away from those things.
You got alright. I get an idea. You end up saying my clan is, and everybody keeps saying it, lovely host.
Yes.
Interesting that everybody keeps using that term around me. Thought that was something I kept from my breathing days, but you tell me that's something else.
That's also a part of what a being Zamisi is. Zamisi are very accommodating, but it comes at a price, and it's always, if you don't pay that price, I've never seen retribution more fierce. Thus, staying on the good side of a fiend is ideal. I hope never to upset you.
I hope to never end up giving you a reason to be upset with me in turn.
Like I said, your
At this
family.
point, that's probably family. Kind of looks between Carnage, no, as I'm at a loss. I don't know what it is that I can do or how the hell I can end up making this any better. Everybody else has this understanding where they fit in the greater whole of it, it seems. Seems Noel here can end up finding himself just rightly situated in places to end up figuring out information, keep people around him dangerous enough, yeah, just as dangerous as him, to end up keeping himself from this, hand of vengeance. Probably also the reason why he keeps Ray around. Somebody just as dangerous. Probably needs Faust for the resources in that regard. Okay, that ends up making sense. Ray ends up needing somebody who can end up helping out with the social life and end up being able to end up covering. Probably ends up needing somebody to end up dealing with kind on an individual basis. Keeps me around. Faust ends up turning into an individual who can actually stay as rugged as they are, but I'll be on the flip side of the coin. Makes sense. But each one's got a fixing. I don't. Because they know what they are. They have a loose understanding. Noel here can end up telling me about the Banu Hukum all day.
Bano, what? Assamites.
The old name is Assamites, yes. Banu Hakim is what?
That's what I
goes on
said.
now.
But
Oh, great. So you are a Cammy
Okay.
then.
No, actually. I was brought up traditional Ashiran. The Adence Pact happened. You know, the truce that the Kami made with my clan elders.
had something
They
to do
did.
with the wedding.
Did. My sire and I wanted no part of it, and so we left.
You see that he narrows his eyes at you.
I don't care for the Camarilla.
Right.
Law is all fine and all, but they're heavy-handed and feudalistic. Doesn't do anything, it's inefficient.
Now you understand when I end up saying I'm kind of caught in a rock and a hard place when it comes to talking to you. You understand exactly the extent of that. But didn't want to end up talking behind your back and end up making you think other. Said I'm family. That's why I'm trying to end up here keeping it out in the open.
Yes. I consider you family because while she may have fucked off, somebody's got to look after you.
Well, it ain't gonna be him. He tried to cut me in two.
What? And he looks at you dead square in the eyes, Noel.
It was a,
You did what?
It was a rough few days, is all I'm going to say. But in my defense, I went out hunting specifically for her so that she could patch her wounds without any tax. That bolt
Why?
rested in my lap and I fixed it.
Why did you do that in the first place?
Have you ever felt that little niggling voice in the back of your head
Yes.
telling you that something needs to bleed? Not necessarily to feed, just to be destroyed, to be
I
driven
think I'm
before
feeling
you,
that right now.
friend or
Yeah.
friend or foe.
Yeah. I'm feeling that right now. And I don't know if that's necessarily me or if that's something else like the ancient one telling me the same thing, cuz I'm starting to agree with him right now.
Do I see everything escalating? Am I witnessing this?
It's
Can I
starting
hear it?
he's starting to get a little loud. You're in earshot, so it's starting to get a little loud.
All right.
In any case,
Okay, yeah. If it's getting loud, I'm gonna go ahead and just walk on over into the situation.
Okay.
And
oh, I can hear her laughing in the back room.
as I approach, I just sort of whistle at everyone and I get their attention. And I point at my wrist. We're running low on time.
Alright. That being said,
Thin ice. Gasamite.
I think it's fantastic that we all got off on the right foot here. No, I think it's about time you end up heading out to the car and end up talking to dear Faust. I'll be right behind you.
Right. Yeah. It
Off.
was a pleasure finally actually getting to talk to you in a proper manner, Carnage.
Yeah, fuck off.
And Noel would simply turn and walk away. And as he does, Faust, he's coming towards you. Is there any chance I could roll an insight to see what the hell just happened there?
Insight on Carnage?
No, insight on Maria. Maria was the one who specifically brought it up. I want to see if I can figure out why.
Yeah, sure.
That's a wince insight for you, Mr. Stoutford.
But it is.
No.
Two successes.
Why did it start escalating, Null?
I'm going to willpower this.
Meets it beats. You get the impression that Maria's trying to make sure that it's very clear she's not going to be your punching bag anymore. And maybe, if anything happens to her, you're going to be blamed for it. And so Carnage is going to be a lot more of a immediate threat afterwards than any hand of vengeance. Making it in your best interest to make sure Maria is in good hands.
Upon this little revelation, Noel simply looks at us. We'll talk in the car.
How about you tell me right now? You can keep a hush tone.
There was
We'll talk while we...
Yeah, as Noel and Faust are heading away, Noel speaks. There was an altercation after the little bit with the diner. You remember that, right? Unfortunately, after that little bit, for the next week, I had this little thought in the back of my head. Something or someone that needed to hurt.
Faust stops.
And it just so happened that the day before the barbecue, Ray decided to poke the beehive. And I lost it. And in the ensuing altercation, Maria had also gotten involved. Flesh crafting and all. And
This all happened while I was out.
yes, it did. It saw the opportunity, and I had no choice but to take it. To get the
But you had a
race in my head.
choice. But you had a choice.
If it wasn't her, it was going to be somebody else. It could have been Ray, it could have been you. It was gonna be someone.
But you chose Maria, knowing full well that she was the host to an actual event that we were hosting. We were presenting. Get in the fucking car.
There's more before you jump to conclusions.
And Faust just holds out his hand, pursing his lips.
After the fact, Ray and I had a little discussion. And the next evening, before the event, we both went to go and retrieve some food for Maria so that she could patch up her wounds after the altercation. Despite the fact that I had woken up exceptionally rough that evening.
And Faust just meshes his face. Yeah, let's have a chat. Let's get in the car.
Sure. And he's gonna get in the car.
Does Maria have anything else to finish up with Carnage?
Carnage looks like he's steaming a little bit, Maria. Like he's trying to hold it down.
I don't know if it means much to you, Carnage, but I actually appreciate that.
Oh, you have no idea the kinds of thoughts going around in my head right now.
You said that you never want to be on the bad side of Zamitsi.
No.
Why is that?
Because this is Zamitsi. That little pang of curiosity. That only gets stronger as you get older. And you start toying with people. You start toying with kindred, you start toying with yourself, you start toying with the fleshy bits of the kind, molding them, sculpting them, making some delightful artwork in some cases, and I dare say some very wonderful masterpieces that make for very interesting fight tactics against the Camarilla. But, yes, human tanks, as it were. I've seen many of those. No.
I might have to end up coming to you with for some ideas.
I've got plenty.
I'm counting on it. Is there anything I can do for you, Carnage, before I head off?
Not currently, but I'll let you know. Oh, I would love to just rip that boy's spine right out of his head and beat him to death with it.
I know. But
It
you
would be
do
fun.
that, Marjani comes on me.
Yeah, there's that.
On the other hand, if I suddenly go missing, you know exactly who to look for.
Yes.
I figured it kind of levels the playing field.
Kind of play their games a little bit, I guess.
I only know a few, but I'm trying to learn. And whatever I need to be in order to get to the next night, well, guess that's where it's got to start.
I don't intend for you to only last a night, either.
No, I suppose not. But I'm gonna have to end up heading to church pretty soon.
I'll say a prayer for you myself.
She kind of looks at him quizzically. I guess with you knowing Cain is real. God is real. No question. Not a matter of faith, matter of fact.
It is a matter of fact. Cain was cursed by God because he refused to apologize. He knew what kind of monster he'd become killing Abel. He embraced it. And God cursed him for it. Punished him for being the thing that he is. And so, we continue that curse. Punished for being the thing that we are by having our elders manipulate us.
So then I gotta ask, who are you praying to when you pray for me?
The Dark Father himself, of course.
You think that Cain hears you?
Cain hears all of us.
I'm not sure how to feel about that, to be honest with you.
I can tell you more in time.
Yeah, and we gotta get going.
Yeah, don't want to upset your Asimite friend.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. But I can't be his punching bag no more.
He hurts you again. You come to me, and I will rip his spine out.
Who knows? I might be there just to put it back, see what I can do.
Now you're talking.
She kind of smiles. Again, just that. Not with the eyes, just with the lips curling. As she turns, she has a little bit of a thought of curiosity as she starts to walk away. Why did I just say that?
And Maria rejoins the car.
Meanwhile, during that time, before Maria returns.
Yes.
Faust is just ruffling his hair, pushing it back and forth. And he rests his head on his hand and his elbow on his knee. Just kind of curled facing Noel in the seated position. You know, I would have thought you were the type to learn by example.
To learn by example.
Of course. You know, I pulled the same shit with Ray. And what I was able to discern from that is you can play it as help. You can return with gifts, apologies, exchanges, traits. But when you conduct certain damage, betrayal specifically of any variety within a coterie, the damage is more permanent. It's permanent to your trust and to your reliability. And at that point, you lose support.
Faust. She
What?
just threw me under the bus with Carnage.
Reasonably.
Yes, yes, reasonably. I'm not going to deny that. If you think there's any denial here of any kind regarding that, there isn't. Maria is faultless. I don't blame her for what she just did. If I was in the position of having a neonate Bruja behind my back, more than willing to rip off people's limbs for me, I'd probably do the same thing.
Maria has been in a position where she hasn't felt like she's had direction or a position to real power at all, to have an opinion, to have even an identity that she could rely on.
Well, it's why I told her in specific she wanted the answers, Carnage had them. I didn't warn her against coming here, I simply warned her to be careful. In case Carnage was wanting to play a different game. Because, well, he could be and we wouldn't know it.
I think we would be, more than we're giving ourselves credit. Of course he is. That's just a factor of it.
It's better to make that assumption, yes.
But rather than that, if you are concerned about Maria, if you are concerned about where she's going, and the direction she's headed, understand that in your decision, you are partly to discern, in this particular circumstance, to be the push of that. Now, one thing I want to express first and foremost is that I don't believe Maria to be the type to go that way. While it's plausible, in actuality, She's a smart enough girl to know that being Sabat wouldn't serve her in an anarch city.
It's not a matter of being Sabat. I'm not afraid of conversion. But imagine, if you will, what she might become capable of if there was someone experienced to teach her. Not saying she doesn't deserve the right to know, but that is a thought that should come to mind.
You have to understand that Carnage isn't the only one who can teach her things.
No, he's not. However, Carnage is the only one right now who's shown to be exceptionally dangerous in his own right. But not only that, he's in a position where he said it himself, his existence in this city is tolerated, but the city gives him nothing, even if he's willing to buy it for whatever they're selling it for.
And that's not us.
No, it's not us. But I think it begs the question as to why he's in that position in the first place. And trust me when I tell you, I doubt it's simply only because he's Sabat.
Faust is just shaking his head.
But rarely is reality so simple.
I
That
think
the obvious thing would be why one's kept on the outside.
No. I hear what you're saying. I do. But right now, I think what the bigger threat to our coterie in this moment is ourselves. Not Maria and her clan. And anything she's doing with Carnage. It is a point, for sure. But it is not the bigger threat. It isn't Rey and her needs for feeding. It is a point, but it is not the bigger threat. The bigger threat is our own personal inner turmoil. It is the fact that we as a coterie are not connected. We're not focusing on the same terms. And that we are ultimately bringing together sabotage amongst each other. Whether that be to others' touchstones, fantastically, the people we care about, latching onto them, or, in your case, directly stabbing a coterie mate because you have an inkling of an urge. When it could have been, when by all means, it could have been addressed before it became a bigger problem. I'm mad at myself that I couldn't prove that I had the reliability to help you in this moment, because by all means, if I had known, I probably would have just let you stab me. Attack me. Whatever the fuck.
I was trying to avoid that throughout that week.
But you didn't say anything, did you?
Well, I'm sorry. Faust, do you know how awkward it might be to bring up to someone who you're meant to be working with? Oh yeah, hey, I have these errant thoughts in my head of cutting you in half.
No, Ray does it to me at least once a day. It's not
Yes,
often.
and that's Ray.
And it can be you too. But it's
I
a
don't.
little...
But who would want that? Who
I
would
would-
want that?
I admit I would prefer the animosity directed towards me than to it directed outwards to the rest of the coterie. I'm fine with taking on the burden of being the hated. I'm used to it at this point. It's a
not.
little sexy. I'm becoming a masochist. Keep it coming.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. One, whatever floats your boat, but that's a little fucked. And two, it's not animosity. I don't hate anyone. It wasn't a matter of hatred. If it was, it'd be a lot easier to deal with. No, it's just that cold, sinking feeling of something needing to be destroyed. There's no emotion behind it. There wasn't. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel towards Maria as far as wanting to do it or not, because it happened anyway. She suffered for it anyway. But God. Standing there, rather. Her having morphed her hands into those claws. Looking at her. And every fiber of my body screaming, you need to hurt her. Not because you hate her. Not because she's done anything wrong. But simply because she's in the right place at the right time. Or the wrong place at the wrong time. Whichever way you want to look at it.
Faust puts his hands on the wheel and just grips semi-tight. Not quite white knuckling, but deep in thought.
I didn't want to have to hurt her.
And
I didn't.
It's about that moment that you hear the car door opening. And Maria getting in.
Faust just looks over to Maria. Welcome back.
And closes the door. Kind of rests her arm on the windowsill. Window still rolled up and just looking out into the distance. I appreciate.
Go ahead.
I appreciate the welcome, Faust. I really do.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Think I did. And the implications terrify me.
And I suppose if there's anything you're afraid to face, I can help you face it. Provided you'd like that.
So accommodating, Faust. I'll keep it in mind. Right now, I'm just processing.
Letting it stew. Nah. Faust turns on the vehicle. One more thing. He hops out of the vehicle really fast. And Faust actually makes a point to check the vehicle, actually. He checks it for any devices. like bugs or anything that he can find on it. Make sure to peer around,
How
see
long are
if
you?
there's.
How long are you wanting to spend on it?
Um, I work better with wits, so we'll go with that.
Okay, go with wits. Wits and investigation. Because you know what you're looking for.
And this time, I actually will roll willpower. Can I?
Yep,
Is
you
it
have
would it
one
be
dice.
One dice. One dice. Is it worth it? Hmm.
Depends how much you value peace of mind.
A little bit much at this moment because Faust is getting a little jittery about that. All right, yeah.
I will
Go
also
ahead and
allow
roll.
you to succeed at a cost.
What's the cost?
Oh, let me think for a second. It means you're going to run into someone later on tonight.
Sure.
Someone you might not want to run into.
Yeah, the exact person I'm worried about. Oh God. All right. Yes,
All
I'll
right.
take it.
You search the vehicle, and even though it's just a quick once over, you spot something. Something small. Kind of feeling around, you find a small device. You're not sure what it's used for. You don't even know necessarily what it is, but it was on your car.
And this has definitely been at the Haven. And this has definitely been at the Coterie House.
You don't know necessarily how long it's been there. You just had this thought just now. This isn't a normal practice for you.
No. No, it's not.
But I'm sure it will be now.
Faust drops it on the ground and crushes it with his foot.
And I will make a
Makes-
note. Did you finish your investigating and that's the only device you find on your vehicle? Whatever it was.
He gets back in the car. It's still running.
Yep.
All right. That takes care of that. Shall we?
By all means.
And he starts the vehicle and they head back to, where are we going?
Where are you going?
I
I mean,
Coterie House, but
yeah, Coterie House. I can't think of anything else to do right now.
Then the three of you go back to the Coterie House. And I believe this is where we're going to take our quick break. And we'll come back to find out what more is going to happen for our iconoclasts, especially now, given that Faust found something of interest on his car. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night's Aftermath. We rejoin our coterie as they've collected themselves at around midnight back at the Coterie Haven, each of them having done the errand of the night. Ray having gone and found herself some stock to put in the fridge, and the other three having gone to visit with Carnage, the Sabat Bruja, now roaming the city alone, so far as they know. And Faust found something interesting on his vehicle that he might want to share with the rest of the coterie, and so the rest of you, all of you, are here to discuss at length what you will.
As the as Faust pulls the vehicle up to the coterie house, he locks the doors really fast before anyone can hop out. I have something to share with the class.
What? What's up?
Do we remember Mr. Sebastian Moore?
The agent, right?
Correct. He had no qualms with mentioning that he was stalking me. If you're wondering what I did outside the vehicle earlier, I found a device. I don't know how long it's been there.
Oh, wonderful.
Quite. Not sure how long it's been there. And what precisely it has from it. Destroyed it on the spot. So, I want to make a wild suggestion here that we do some house cleaning before we conduct any further activities for the evening.
Yeah. I just hope there was no audio. Because that would be exceptionally dangerous.
Let's assume the worst first. And prepare for that.
Alright. Maria starts going around the house and starts to, hell, peel back some boards if she has to, but she's going to be taking a long time looking for anything.
When you do enter the house, Ray is present. And so when you start ripping apart some of the boards and start peeking into the little crevices and things of the house, Ray, you might find that a little strange, being the first thing that happens as Maria's coming in the door. She doesn't even bother to say hi.
Whoa, Maria, what are you doing?
I was told by one of the guests that we end up having an infestation. I need to have knowing. They really don't like noise.
Ah, right. Can I roll to see if Ray actually understands what Maria's getting at?
That would be a wit's insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plain as day. She's being subversive. You don't know about what?
Oh, well, I guess let me give you a hand.
Maria, if you're looking to investigate the house, that's going to be a wits or resolve investigation, depending on how long you want to spend. Oh, if you're saying something, you're muted.
Oh, nice.
That is 6 successes. No, 7 successes.
7.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Damn.
She's been building this house. She knows where to hide shit.
She knows exactly where to hide shit, and so you check every little nook and cranny that you suspect that you would put something of that sort into those crevices, and yes, sirree, there's a listening device.
Where is it located?
The main room, the main dining room.
She kind of holds it up.
You're not sure what it does, but you know that that's not supposed to be there.
Can I give it a look over and check its purpose?
That would be an intelligence technology.
Yeah, I'll make an intelligence check. I'd actually like to browse for a blood search on this.
Go for it. You're getting a
Getting
little
hungrier, but
hungrier.
that's not too bad.
The first failure of hunger in the day.
Okay, there's gonna be a willpower spent. 4.
You can tell that there's a little microphone on it. It looks like it might be battery powered. You're not entirely certain where it's from, but you know its intent. You know its intent is to listen in on things.
Is the battery pack connected to it?
So far as you can tell, it's a very small device. It's meant to be incredibly well hidden.
In which case, it's
Yep.
probably only got like a button battery in it.
Is there anything else on it of note? Is it just or is it just a microphone, a Wi-Fi broadcast, and a button battery for power?
That looks like that's all that's there. There's no identifying markings. There's nothing particularly special looking about it.
Does it look like does it look well manufactured? Or does it just look like that someone bought a small PCB and soldered some components to a small PCB that they bought from Radio Shack?
It's well crafted. Whether if it was built for that purpose or if that was something cobbled together, you can't tell.
Ray lets out a groan and feigns stretching. She's like, I don't see anything around. I'm gonna go for a walk.
Mind if I join?
Sure.
Alright. Would anyone else like to join for a pleasant stroll this evening?
Yeah.
I think
Why
we should all
not?
go for a walk. It is a nice night tonight.
Roommate endeavor. Excellent. Maybe we can hit up the 7-Eleven.
Sloppy sounds good right now, actually.
And so the four of you take to the streets.
As we leave the house, Ray wants to keep an eye out for any vehicles in the street, ones that might be conspicuous. Maybe parked a little bit away, keeping an eye on the house.
You can make me a wits awareness. And if anyone else wants to help, you can get a modifier for it.
I'll get.
Oh,
let her-
certainly.
Also,
So that would be a +3, so roll 3 additional dice.
I'll just put this in as a willpower reroll.
Okay. So 5 successes. You don't see any vehicles that are out of the ordinary when you start perusing the neighborhood.
As they walk, she's gonna start going through her clothes, just checking to make sure there's nothing that's been slipped into any of her pockets or anything like that.
First question is, what are you doing with the device?
I want to say, did we just leave it on the table?
I would say
Let's
that would
keep
be a good idea.
Did
Yeah.
Maria take it out of its spot? If you're saying
Probably
something,
put it
Derek,
back
you're,
before we
you're
left.
muted.
Probably not. I know she showcased it, but since that's kind of up for debate, I'd say we'd high and low it.
Yeah, we can throw a high or low. Do you want a high or low?
Go with the high.
High clan.
High clan high.
Okay.
High climb high.
You left it be. You just pointed it out.
And Noel would have picked it up, looked it over, and put it back.
Yep.
But yeah, as they walk, Ray checks over her clothes, make sure that there's nothing untoward in her pockets.
Nothing out of the ordinary in your pockets. For all of you, if you want to
And
check your own pockets.
Gestures for everybody to do the same thing.
Yeah, Noel has already done it.
House goes ahead, does a quick pat down as well.
All of you would find there is nothing out of the ordinary on your person.
Right. Well, this is a problem, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
So, that looked like it was wireless.
Yeah. Well, it's broadcasting somewhere.
If it's wireless, it's probably not strong enough to link up to anywhere else, and we don't have an internet connection within the house. So, chances are it's broadcasting to somewhere very close by.
Either we've
We
got...
need to be. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna mention, seems like we have some interesting neighbors.
Don't we, though?
What were you going to say, Noel?
It means that we need to look around and we need to be meticulous about it. Leave no stone unturned.
I'm more concerned about the who of who planted it, and the what of they've been hearing.
I'm not even gonna question it. I think I know who. First
Who do
and
you
foremost,
think?
it's a guy-
Actually, given my position, could I theoretically recall if either Sebastian or his counterpart ended up coming into the house at any point during the night?
You know that everybody went through the house in order to get to the backyard, because it's fenced off.
Okay.
So,
But would they have had the time? Would they have had the opportunity? Because remember, Maria was the one who was doing all the meeting and greeting, right?
right. Then that would be an
So-
intelligence plus academics,
Intelligence
or intelligence
plus
resolve.
academic. Oh, okay.
I was trying to think of a skill that might be memory related.
I need to willpower this, unless you're gonna give me a succeed at a cost. So we'll willpower it.
Okay, you can willpower it.
3.
So far as you know, most everyone seemed to go in, greet you, go out into the yard. That's really about it.
No, there was one. There was one person left alone in there for a prolonged period of time. Only one.
Oh yeah, Anita.
I think it's about time I end up making a walk on over.
And Maria starts walking towards the house, looking determined.
Ray follows her. And I'll be right back real quick.
Well, looks like our gracious host has a wonderful idea.
Yep.
She
No
did.
choice but to follow.
Maria, do you say
I'm
anything?
sorry. I think I got an idea. And I think it's about 1 o'clock, so
Thereabouts.
I would end up telling the raisin. Let me go and say hi to one particular.
If you need anything, I'll be within.
Oh, we might need you pretty soon, depending on how it goes. I'm kind of curious myself.
Very well.
Then we're
This
on
is just a
standby.
hunch. This is just a hunch. I'd rather get crossed off right now. And I kind of bite into my index finger. Ready to draw blood if I need to.
Mm-hmm. You have a perfectly sized, droplet-sized little cuts off a fang on your finger should you need to push some blood out of it. You don't hear a response at first. But if you start knocking again, you'll see a light
I
turn
will.
on. And you see the man of the house answer the door. I'm sorry, Maria, right?
Oh, Detective, so glad to end up seeing you. I'm a little worried right now.
It's late.
I know, but I found something. Found something that's scaring the hell out of me.
What do you mean?
I think somebody's listening in on me.
Sorry, what?
You know how I was fixing up the house, right?
Yeah.
I found something, and it's nothing. I'm terrified, and I'm scared to give anybody a call right now. What if they're listening on that too? I found it.
You found what exactly?
What you call them? Like a kind of like what they end up using in movies with the microphones and random things. I, I'm so scared.
What did you do with it? You
I
didn't move it,
forgot
did
where
you?
it was, and I got out of the house. I didn't. I needed help.
Okay.
And of course they end up following me out to end up making sure. But I need to know I'm not going crazy.
Okay. You're not going crazy. Just stay calm and we'll handle this. I'll call somebody.
Take a look. Please, just...
I'll make a phone call really quick and I'll come take a look. And
I think it's at that point. I'm going to... Yeah. I think I'm going to end up moving along just to end up listening very carefully to who he's calling.
Okay. And he goes back inside, shuts the door to go grab his phone, and make me a wits awareness -1.
I'm gonna rouse blood.
Ray would also like to listen in.
Okay. Ray, if you're listening from a specific, like, where are you right now? You weren't at the
She's
door. He didn't
probably-
acknowledge you.
No. She's probably off to the side near one of the
What
windows.
the? Wow. Okay, I gotta re-roll it.
Derek dice.
Wow.
Oh
Wow!
no!
Wow.
Whoa!
That's not that's not a bestial failure, but that is.
Maybe not, but that is
That-
7, 8, 9, 10 dice, all failures.
Yes.
Oh!
I am so sorry.
Wow!
That is
Oh,
a roll.
lethality? Next time you claim that you're using my dice, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember this moment.
There. Alright.
So,
Yeah, you can't hear him for some reason.
Ray is kind of a little bit off to the side, probably in the shadows beside the door and the window.
And you can also make a wits awareness -2, given that you're probably a little farther. Nah, it's a little too muffled.
Can I willpower those
You can
two
willpower
dice?
up to 2.
Yep, you can. So far, it's very muffled. You hear a name, but it's not the name you're expecting. It's a different name. You don't know who that person is.
What's the name?
Muniz.
Muniz.
You might get the impression that he might be calling in at the police department.
Hmm. That's a name that I haven't heard before.
Nope. As far as you know several other police officers that work in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Not that that's a great number of people, but that's...
Do I hear anything else mentioned?
that there's somebody in the neighborhood that suspects a stalker.
Yep.
Maria, you can't hear any of this from your own perspective. You just can't get the angle right to be able to hear before he leaves the room again, going towards the door. He talks with Anita for a second, kind of shushing her back to sleep. And
as he moves away from the phone, Ray is actually going to move away from the door out towards the street.
Okay.
And just kind of wait there.
Noel and Faust, what are you doing? If anything.
I've been waiting by the sidewalk.
Okay.
More so than anything.
We've been away, just waiting by the sidewalk.
Okay. So the two of you are just waiting it out.
Emotional support.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not emotional support. I'm here in case I need to whip out something.
Oh no! As far as Deacon is ever going to be aware, we're emotional support and nothing else.
Good point.
Yes. So Deacon comes back to the door, and Maria, I suspect you've gone back there by now. Yes.
I'm currently standing at the door waiting for the return, so...
Okay. And when he says, I called dispatch, and they're gonna be sending some people over, but I can definitely take a look for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And not a problem
I
at
tried
all.
to do something right, and then somebody takes advantage of that kind of hospitality. Who would do that?
It's gonna be okay. We're gonna figure this out, okay?
Yeah.
And he's doing his best to try and calm you down from the kind of fake panic that you're portraying.
Oh, it's not really fake panic. It's just redirected panic.
Redirected panic. Yeah, the actual reason for it is the surreptitious part. But he is willing to follow you back to the house if you are going back to the house.
I believe I do. And I will end up doing so to end up going inside.
So the detective follows you back to the house.
I gesture right towards it. I keep quiet.
And
Gesturing for them to keep quiet as well.
And
Don't say a word.
he goes in quietly and looks at the place that you point out to find the bug, and he kind of nods and then kind of guides you back out of the house. Yeah, I can see what you're thinking. I can see why you have some concerns here.
I didn't want to end up giving a call just in case. What's this all mean?
It's a listening device of some kind. It's wireless. It doesn't have any storage on it.
So where would they be getting it connected to then? Is this like satellites or something?
No, probably something a little less sophisticated than that. Short range.
So
She
what
stopped. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is, there's some pervert in the neighborhood, planting bugs in people's homes, listen in on their family dinners and shit.
And that's the thing, that's all that I can really think of. I'm not exactly an expert in technology.
That is a disturbing thought if true.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Faust stands by Maria and just rubs her back comfortingly. He's shaking his head, like, in complete exasperation.
We're gonna find this son of a bitch, you know that, right?
I certainly hope so. You know,
I mean, Faust, haven't you been having a few troubles?
I have.
I hope this isn't related.
Hmm.
I had some.
And I mean,
Oh, some time ago there was a. I actually moved out here not too recently. You see, I'm a bit of a celebrity with Forbes magazine, and when that hit, when I started to receive that kind of coverage, I started getting really unusual individuals permeating my routines and getting rather uncomfortably close. You know, I really thought that I had gotten away from all of that because it started to escalate really, really quickly. You know, I started seeing them at my coffee shops, and soon they started peering outside my home, and I had to move, you know? I had to get out of that.
Is that what you suspect in this case, then?
I'm worried.
Since you live here too, right?
I do. I just...
Is there any way for us to figure out who put it there?
If there's any identifying markers, then we'll find them.
I just can't believe...
yes. Because, I mean, I would hate to think if someone's gone and put listening devices in several different homes. The violation of privacy.
Yeah,
Even just in one home.
that's...
Aren't there laws against that?
Yeah, that's fucked.
Oh, God.
How do you even start to find? Like, is there some way to trace a signal or something? I don't know. I don't do this kind of thing.
Like I said, I'm not a tech guy, so I wouldn't know the first thing about trying to track that down.
Yeah.
Do you
Maria
know what
gives.
tech
I'm more of a... be present in a tight spot, kind of a detective.
I still appreciate it. Kind of looks to Faust like.
But I have an
balls in
investigator
your
friend.
court.
I have an investigator friend who's on the police force. I haven't had him come down. He's on shift anyway, so...
Oh,
That's-
thank-
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name.
My name?
I have the opportunity to meet you, but I remember a party before.
Yeah, Deacon Johnson.
Foss puts his hand out. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for assisting us.
And Deacon goes to shake it.
Oh shit, wait, before can I rouse to make my hand less cold?
You may.
Thank you. I always forget.
Johnson. You wouldn't be, related to Angie by any chance, would you?
Yeah, she's my sister-in-law.
Oh, I know Angie. Angie's great.
Yeah, she's a peach.
She really is.
You're getting hungrier, Mr. Beaufort. And he looks like a juicy morsel. A very juicy morsel.
He's not tired enough for me yet.
So, you said it was probably short range, right?
Something to that effect. I would imagine it doesn't look very big, so
So if they're listening in, they've got to be nearby, right?
one would assume.
Is this one of those weird black van type scenarios?
You see
God,
any?
how does somebody even get into that?
I don't see any black vans.
You mentioned you had an investigator friend. Who would we be working with moving forward?
Detective Muniz.
Detective Muniz. Got it.
He's the one on shift. I'm day duty, so
Yeah, sorry to pull you out of bed this late at night.
it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Kinda.
I'll find some way to get to bed. The baby's probably gonna need to be changed soon anyway.
I can take care of that if I can't be any help here. At least I can do is help you with the baby.
No, that's not necessary. As soon as Dylan gets here, then, or David rather gets here, then we should be fine. And depending how long you guys are gonna wait, the Detective Muniz is actually going to show up.
All right. Before he shows up, when Johnson, does Deacon leave before Muniz shows up?
No, he doesn't. He makes sure to stay.
All right.
He is gonna do a perimeter, just to see if he can spot anything. But he's not terribly good at it.
Okay. Faust is just gonna decide to go to the farthest room from the living space.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna mention, I'm gonna go freshen up for a moment. And he's just trying to like cue to the rest of the party, like if anyone wants to have a hushed conversation about what to do next. If anyone has an idea. I'm not good at improv, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta, I'm actually a little bit achy to use the bathroom. And if we are gonna have a detective here, I think it'd be better if I went before he arrived.
Yeah, look like we haven't done an 8-hour shift, 12-hour shift.
And Noel is gonna, quote unquote, go to the bathroom.
Okay. The detective remains outside, kind of doing a little bit of a short perimeter, kind of circling around.
Ray stays outside to keep an eye on Deacon doing his perimeter, and Muniz when he shows up.
Okay. So Ray is outside.
During the short amount of time that we have a private moment to chat, with Faust just massaging his forehead. Alright. Detective Muniz. Detective David Muniz.
Would I have heard of this detective before? I've got a lot of skills.
It's a fairly big city, and it's a fairly big precinct as far as you know. So the likelihood is pretty slim. But you can do an intelligence and
Streetwise?
yeah, streetwise.
Yeah, I'll do an intelligence streetwise.
Difficulty is pretty high though.
That's fine. I don't get my specialty here. Oh wow. Yeah, I'll spend a willpower. Why not?
Can Null also use line as a modifier in this scenario? Like
Lane.
lane? Just by
Lane wouldn't
knowing
apply because technically he's not from your domain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, well, then... Oh, I have a question. Can
Mhm.
I assist Null because I have my contact within the police force, which is Anna? Or is that
Even with
non-applicable?
even with one additional dice, you don't know anything.
Damn. Okay.
You'd have to
Yeah, no, that's
get somewhere close to 6 successes.
yeah. No, I'm not there. I'm Muniz. I haven't heard the name before, but need to be wary, very wary.
Yep. In all honesty, I think I know what I'm gonna do with this man.
Let him do his job first, though. We need to know where this thing came from.
Oh yes. Make his report, have it put in the car, bring him back, make him mine. Positive smiles.
Alright. And Noel would wash his hands to make it look like he went to the bathroom.
Fair enough. Maria, were you part of this little conversation?
No, I'm currently at this point and not able to end up adding much more to that. Though I am believing that it's going to come down to Faust to pull this off. This is risky. If it gets out any further, then we'll definitely end up having a potential masquerade breach. But if it works, we end up managing to turn, or get the opportunity to turn the tide of this little bit of a situation. Well, hopefully be able to end up getting the evidence thereon.
And eventually, the Detective Muniz, as you see, Ahurei, does eventually arrive, and he and Deacon speak for a moment, kind of hushly, just to make sure that things go smoothly in the identifying and removing of a bug. And when they go in, Detective Muniz kind of investigates the bug a little bit, having been pointed it out, and kind of looks it over for a moment, just kind of takes it in his hand, and from what you can tell, removes his battery so that he can investigate it further. I can take this down to the precinct and see if I can do a bit of identifying on this thing, see where it came from. It's well made. Don't get me wrong, but this isn't anything to worry about. I don't think if you found it and you made noise in the house like you found it, they're likely long gone.
Still, it's a lot to be said that there's some pervert going around people's homes.
Which I would definitely advise caution. This neighborhood's not exactly the greatest, but
This is not exactly something that you would have expected.
no, not particularly.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Very weird.
God. We're out here, we're trying to see that this neighborhood is well protected. was cared for.
I
We
mean,
want to put a little love into it, but then we got rabble rousers like this. Creeps.
well,
God.
any information you might have about somebody who might actually be, I don't know, wanting to poke their head around, it's useful information. He starts pulling out a pad.
Well, in all honesty, during the party, barbecue, there was this one individual who approached me. He seemed a friendly fellow at first, but
Mhm.
after conversation, he seems unusual, strange. At first, I thought maybe, considering my position, the whole Forbes coverage, he was just a regular fan, but he said something that made me very discerned. He said he was, outrightly said he was a bit of a stalker. And I guess
That's disconcerting, but also if your face has been, you know, national acclaim, why are you living in this house?
honestly,
Low profile.
low profile because more or less was chased out of Dallas
Oh,
due to a stalker.
interesting. And he starts taking notes.
You can understand my concern with this, that I'm being chased around. And
Yeah.
now
Absolutely.
it's even more of a threat, because not only is my information, my identity being threatened here, but now it's the identity of multiples within the neighborhood. And
And you
anyone
believe-
I'm interacting with.
And you believe it's the same person.
I do. At least, I have suspicion. His name is Sebastian Moore. He's
He starts jotting the notes down.
Well, who else could it be?
I haven't met anyone that's been so outrightly, I suppose, aggressive in their tone.
Aggressive.
Would be the term I'd use for it.
Interesting. He starts making more
I tried to play it
notes.
off, like perhaps maybe he's just flirting, but that didn't seem to be the case.
Well, the thing that I can suggest at this point is lock your doors. Don't let
See.
anybody in or out. Don't have visitors for a while.
Of course, officer. If you need anything, you let me know, alright?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have
I think-
any more information than to hunt this person down, like where to find them. You said you know his name. Sebastian Moore.
At least, I suspect that's the case. That was the only individual within the entirety of that soiree that caused me concern. Any sort of heebie-jeebies.
Who else was there?
Quite a few individuals. We had a bit of a big festivity, but of the people that I interacted with, no one. We had quite a few proper individuals that didn't seem problematic.
Still, I'm probably going to want a list of the names.
Can be done. Maria, would you be able to compile that for Detective?
I'll have that thing to you first thing tomorrow night.
Wonderful. And it really does help us, Detective. Appreciate it. I also have a lot of concerns about the safety of our neighbors. Just
Yeah,
because of this
absolutely.
one.
I'm gonna wanna. If there's seriously some kind of weirdo going on around here, it's not terribly threatening unless somebody gets hurt, but still.
Certainly.
If it escalates, do let me know. As far as I can tell, though, you might be just dealing with a weirdo, and home invasion and privacy invasion is definitely serious, and we'll want to find this person to see if we can do anything about it. But yeah, probably gonna start questioning.
Yes, Detective Muniz.
Yes.
For a little more reference on the seriousness of this matter, in my personal privacy being violated here, you do understand, I work with investments, loans, people's private identification. You do understand the severity of that, right?
Yes, you did say that you're a public figure, famous.
For stock and trade. This does deal with people's federal privacy itself.
And you don't have a private security, Mr. Beaufort?
I have systems that cover the primary terms of this. However, this isn't really something that I was set up for. Who can exactly expect that someone's gonna put a listening device in your home?
Yeah, I get that. I understand. Well, I think I got what I need to start something, for at least.
Excellent. Detective Muniz, one last thing. For my personal security in the coming nights, could you actually assist me with investigating my workplace? Just making sure that, helping me check to make sure there's no
Yeah, I can
addition.
I can look into it, see if somebody can stop by. Where do you work?
I work at the office. And he provides the address for his office.
Probably even provide the card.
Mm-hmm.
Your card has everything you might need.
Yep. If you could, for security purposes, if we could just maintain this on a lower level, definitely report to your precincts, but as far as interactions here, I would prefer to keep it just between you and I in terms of any further collaboration. Do you think that's possible to do? Nah, Faust is gonna go ahead and pop his presents with a cute little smile, and I'm trying to persuade him on that.
Okay. That's a charisma persuasion.
And I can use awe?
Yes.
Yee. I fucking forgot how to roll for a second. Hold on. And what are my dots in awe? I have 2 dots in awe. Wow. Can I re-roll
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah, you can spend willpower.
Alright, I'm spending the willpower.
He gives you a quizzical look, but nods and says, yes, that can be arranged. I don't know why you wouldn't want the whole precinct on this, but I suppose that can be arranged.
No, definitely inform the precinct, but as far as like individual detective work, I feel really uncomfortable with having more than one person moving through my office where I keep people's private identity information and
Right.
documents. Yeah,
It just might not fall in my jurisdiction.
understood.
I'd probably have to request the help of another precinct.
Understood. And at this point, as they walk out and see themselves out, I really need Muniz to just be the only person involved. So since he didn't take bait number 1, I'm just fucking bait number 2.
I mean, you have no real way of telling whether or not he's going to actually do it or not. He seems pretty persuaded.
He does seem pretty persuaded. All right. Well, plant seeds, Spectre. Plant seeds. Like, plant seeds, Faust. Plant seeds. We'll see if Anna can help us. Plant seeds. All right.
And
I'll let it pass this time.
And Muniz goes back into his vehicle to go back to the precinct, and Johnson looks like he's gonna go back home. And Muniz is taking the listening device with him in an evidence bag.
Detective Johnson.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
If you got anything that you need from us, let us know, eh?
Yeah, you got it.
Have
Still
a
not
good
entirely
night.
sure what all you do, but you know, I suppose that's what getting to know your neighbors is like, huh?
Yeah.
And he begins to walk towards his home down the street.
Ray watches him.
Mm-hmm.
She actually watches him until he disappears completely out of sight.
Yep, and you can watch him. You can watch him walk all the way into the front door of his home.
Once he's inside his home, she's going to make her way over to her own vehicle, and she's going to do a full check, making sure that there are no bugs planted on it.
Resolve investigation.
Faust is going to go ahead and assist in this scenario.
Since you know what you're looking for, yeah, you can add a +1 to your dice roll. Ahurei. You don't find anything suspicious.
Well, that's something. All right. Well, that was eventful.
Very. One last check really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Also gonna check Maria's vehicle.
I will assist on that.
Okay, then Faust, you're heading that one. That's a resolve investigation.
Don't tell me I'm heading this one. Oh no. Alright.
You made this. You made the suggestion.
+1.
+1 for Ahurei's help. Yep. As far as you can tell, nothing suspicious.
Alright. Faust just ruffles his hair. This is going swimmingly.
Okay, so besides Maul, is there anybody else that might have access to the ability to do something like this?
Let's review. There's a specific individual that I recall Noel trying to avoid, correct?
Yes, that was Amanda.
Would Ahurei be able to do something like this?
That would be. I think that would be a pretty solid. It's not outside the realm of possibility, given your history with her.
Hmm.
She's
Given what you know
the
about her.
woman. That woman that the
That was
Irish
with
one,
Maul.
right?
Yes. And it's not outside the realm of possibility that she may have been responsible.
You can guarantee, I think, that if Moore's responsible, Illyria's got a hand in it, and vice versa. After all, every time we've seen them so far, they've been together, right? And supposedly, they're business partners.
Well, I'll be sure to update that report when I get the opportunity here. I need to get a private date with Muniz when I can.
Might be a good idea.
This is a very concerning set of events. An exceptionally concerning set of events.
Oh boy. Well then. The night is still young. Let's check up on our whatever we need. Our people, our some conditions, or what have you. Shall we?
Might be an idea to let Marjani know, and Sam.
How much time do we have left?
With as much investigating of the house and the cars and the things that you've done, it's getting pretty close to 5 a.m. And the sun comes up at around 7.
We were
So we've got about 2 hours then. That would be enough to go to the Eye of the Tiger and
If it's still open.
have a chat. Yeah, if it's still open. It probably won't be at this time. It's a sports bar.
I know I'm going to be making a risky play, but I end up making a small contingency on this. So I'm going to spend the evening in the Coterie Haven, though I don't recommend most do this. And I'm going to use that specific false floor under the bed. One I made mention about a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not great, but at the very least. I want to make sure Diamond keeps an eye out on what happens. Keep people away from it keep people away from it, just in case.
I'll also stay in the Haven, but I'll stay in my room. Make sure that I've got my weapons at easy access.
Ray is also going to remain in the Haven over the night. Well, day.
Frost makes a note to go ahead and write down a little, like, notepad that he has that's on the table, and just starts writing down the different numbers that's on his phone. He's left it on the table basically for the majority of the evening, and once he's done, he snaps it. And he just nods to everyone. Looks like we've got some renovating to do. Take care this evening. Sleep with
Looks like it.
If Ross heads back to his haven, he's also going to check his haven for any bugs. Even though he doesn't have a lot to check there. That is. Can I use wits and awareness, or should I be using investigation resolve?
That's investigation resolve, and that's going to take up the rest of your evening.
Got it.
You will likely have to go to sleep directly after that.
All right. Then I will go to sleep directly after that.
Before Ray goes to sleep, I want to set up a pencil lead on the hinge of each of the doors going in and out of the house. A pencil lead on top of the hinge.
Hmm.
If the door gets opened, the lead will break. And we'll definitely know that somebody's been in during the day.
It is only 5 o'clock. Did you not want to go find somebody else you might be able to talk to, or no?
Not gonna push it.
Not really.
Alright.
Not pushing that.
Then the day sleep it is.
Okay. Diamond's gonna be resting on my chest just in case somebody decides to end up opening up the floor.
And as far as you all can tell, the night goes undisturbed. Or the day goes undisturbed. And you awake
Wow.
in one piece. But you will still have to make rouse checks if we want to continue.
I think this is a great place to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
End of the day. End of the night. I think it's a perfect place to stop.
Alright.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, Coffee, but like, I have a work schedule during the day, so I gotta get to that.
Okay, I suppose.
I suppose I will let you work. It's fine. Like the Duolingo bud. Have you been catching up on your Spanish lessons?
Pray for your life in Spanish. Okay.
Yay, I think we just got raided by Maddie.
Oh, just
Maddie.
Hello.
for us to.
We were just finishing
Maddie!
up. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Just finishing up
Wow.
some juicy interactions between Carnage and a potential threat. We'll find out. But yes, thank you guys for playing.
Yeah.
Yee.
Tonight was good.
Tonight was very good.
I'm grateful.
I met my desire.
Ooh. Yes. Desires.
Nope.
Not tonight. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Air quotes.
Desires or ambitions.
I think I'm gonna have to change my desire.
Yeah. If the one
Yeah.
you're using it isn't working out for you, then you can change it.
Yeah.
But yes, our coterie is making some progress. Lots and lots of things. We also have some stains for Miss Ahurei Wilson to resolve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Damn right. Would my never let a kill go to waste help with any of that?
It will mitigate one stain.
Fantastic.
But Faust, I think you need to take a stain yourself.
Tell me.
She told you that she was gonna go do it, and you let her.
What does the oh.
She
told you she was
gonna
gonna
die.
murder somebody, and you didn't stop her. You were complicit.
You didn't even attempt to stop her.
allowed it to happen.
You allowed it to happen, Mr. Venture.
Mm.
So unless you have a conviction that would mitigate that for you.
Let's see.
'Cause I don't think you really promised her anything in that regard.
Nope. Yep, nope, I don't got anything on that regard. We're making this one together, Ray.
Am I rolling 2 dice or just 1?
You're at Humanity 6?
Yeah.
Just one.
Just 1?
For one stain mitigated, that'd be 2 stains.
Oh,
so it'd be 2 dice.
Yeah. No, actually, it still would be. It still would. Well, no. Yes, you're right. 2 dice. Two remorse dice. I was looking at the wrong thing.
How many dice do I roll? Just one?
You also have only 2. Yes,
Only 2.
only 2.
Woo.
Ahurei, it stings. This person wasn't even a contract kill. This person was a random kill, and while it's not being wasteful, you hate to do it. This person didn't deserve that. They were just minding their own goddamn business, and you interrupted them, and you feel like shit for it. That's gonna haunt you for a while.
Yeah.
And Faust, do you
At
feel
least
the
I won't need
same?
to do it again for a bit.
You hate that you let it happen. It didn't have to happen, but you let it happen. You let Ahurei go. And you suppose that the words of your mentor, Mr. Wolford, the pillar of adventure that he is, his words, that everything is in your control, ring true in your mind as you sleep.
It's
your fault.
my fault.
Everything that happens, it's your fault. Whether good or bad. It wasn't necessary, but you let it happen anyway.
Blood wasted, life lost. Ultimately, it's gonna bite us in the ass later, unless I can rein it in.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
I've got to figure out what to do with Ray.
But now that we got that out of the way, we can move on to some experience. So I'm gonna get the poll started for the audience vote, but we have experience to give out, so everybody gets one for showing up and playing.
Yay!
And we also give out bonus experience for the players voting on who moved the plot the furthest, who had the best scene, and who had the best line. And then also the poll I just started is for the audience favorites. So be sure to hit !vote and then the name of the character, either Faust, Noel, Maria, or Ray, and get in your votes for your favorites. So, who moved our plot the furthest?
I would say either Faust or Maria.
Maria.
It was Maria's plot. She was able to come up with an idea, and that brought in Deacon and ultimately Muniz.
Her and Peters to go visit Carnage, her and Peters to get Deacon involved.
My only refutal on that is just the fact that I found the bug. Which I guess changed everything, but I don't know if that's necessarily a big one there.
And Coffee Man, if you're looking to vote, Streamlabs will tell you whether you've been successful or not. So go ahead and type in the name either Ray, R-E-I, Maria, Noel, or Faust. There you go. But yeah.
Actually, I do want to fight it. I found the bug.
You did. You found the bug on your car.
Faust was only concerned about the whole Carnage situation, another kindred, and that blew the fuck up over everything else. So I take that.
That's because Ahurei's vote is split. That's 2 votes Maria, 2 votes Faust, and Maria's the tiebreaker.
I didn't even hear Derek.
Yeah, Derek, what's your vote?
Oh no, my vote was Maria. Your vote is Faust.
And my vote is, I vote for both of them because they both
Both.
moved the plot
Mm,
in a
mhm.
big way.
So Derek, you are tiebreaker.
I gotta give it to Faust.
Faust
Okay.
it is then.
Yep. Majority has decided.
I graciously accept. Thank you.
Who had the best scene?
Okay.
I wanna say Maria with Carnage.
Yeah, that was gonna be my choice as well. Maria with Carnage.
Same. That was unanimous.
That's
Okay.
pretty unanimous, unless you got another another shot. Not like it's majority vote for you. But what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I was gonna give it to Ray
For which one?
for the I'ma eat him.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
The feeding scene. Gotta love that organivore.
You know what?
I love the whole Organivore thing. It's so much fun to play with.
Isn't that
I
so?
know.
Well, it's gonna be a basic feeding scene.
I now know why you chose to do Organivore for frickin'
For Wendigo?
So much fun.
It is, but you gotta be careful with it. You really gotta be picky.
Gotta be picky.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and split my vote between Maria and Ray under the pretenses of, oh yeah, that's right. That was
Yes.
actually a really cool scene.
The juicy
just my
meaty
attempt
bits.
Meaty bits, but also a little bit of how Ray approaches it. There isn't a lot of room to be sad. This is just the reality that Ray has had for the past while. So
Yep.
she has, in order to reconcile that, she takes it with a degree of practicality. Don't waste anything. I didn't realize that's a really cool approach to it. Also draws on like indigenous culture stuff. I'm not sure about Aboriginal because I don't have a lot of context for that.
She's not Aboriginal. She's Maori.
Maori.
Pacific Islander style.
But
That's
that's
my
also
bad.
indigenous New Zealander, so.
Maori, yes.
Their cultures are very similar.
Mm. But yeah.
Thank you for the correct.
So what was the decision?
I think it's split now.
So what's
It's
everybody
split.
else's thoughts?
Mine was Maria with Carnage.
Maria Carnage. And then Faust is doing Maria and Ray. And then Ray, Maria, Ahurei is doing what?
I said Maria.
Maria? Derek,
This
what's
goes
your
to
choice?
Maria.
All right. Best line.
Faust.
Hi, I'm Faust, and I'm becoming a masochist.
Ray threatens to cut me in half at least once a night.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's awkward?
So
I'm
beautiful.
becoming a masochist. Keep it coming.
It's beautiful. I love it.
He's just accepted at this point.
Ah, yes, Faust, the king of lions.
I also really liked. He's probably so crooked that if he ate a nail, he'd probably spit up a corkscrew from Maria. That was really good too.
Regarding Carnage,
Yeah.
I'm already loving Carnage. He's great.
A country state.
Beautiful.
He's beautifully dark. I love him.
I can't help it. Instinctually, they're like I spent so much time as Benji hating the very concept of Carnage, and the one time I met him, I almost fucking blew my shit. Benji almost blew his shit. I think Benji had more composure than I did.
Well, Benzi did Frenzy check and did pass, if I remember correctly.
I think
He did.
if I remember right, it like meat beat. Like that's how close it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Eb is like, no, Benji, we need to leave. We're going to leave now. Let's go. Bye-bye.
Yep. You just can't get over the fact that you hate this man.
Yeah,
You hate this
Yeah.
man. It's fine. Do you love to hate him, though?
the boy is still in my blood. I think Faust doesn't have an opinion either way.
Mm.
He's just like, whatever. This guy is like in.
He might have an opinion
Disparaging
on
you.
this man being Bruja. Because Ventrue versus Bruja.
Yeah, that's kind of the part of the reason why Faust decided to stay back. He's like, I don't want to play with fire here.
Valid.
I'm not trying to fucking take the back. I get enough shit daily. We're fine.
We're going to be playing with fire regardless. It's Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
I want Ray to meet him so bad.
So are we deciding that it's Faust that gets the best line?
Yep.
I vote.
Yeah.
All right.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Faust, you get the line.
I'm glowing. My skin is clear.
You're great.
Thank you.
We still have a minute to get your votes in for the audience votes. So please, everyone, get your votes in before the votes close. So what do we think so far?
Oh boy. Masquerade breach stress.
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna try and round this up. This may be incredibly good, or this may be incredibly bad. And I'm hoping I can round it up to be incredibly good, but I'm not gonna deny it's probably gonna get incredibly bad. Hello, Detroit 2.0.
This is not a Motor City plot. I swear, it's not.
All right.
I mean, you guys chose this plot line based on what it is
Yeah.
that you chose out of
It's
your
all
character
good.
sheets.
It's all
I
good.
love you all. Oh no, Thanatos, you missed it.
Oh.
Thanatos,
Santos!
Thanatos, you missed it. It's okay. I'm still gonna count it. Because Maria wins anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yep. You got 5 votes out of 6.
Wow.
Yeah. So congrats on that.
I know where that experience is going.
So are there expenditures, speaking of which?
Yes, there is. I am spending 15 right now for Protean 3.
Oh
Are you
no,
getting
it
the second
begins.
level of vicissitude?
Flesh crafting.
Flesh crafting from
Flesh
vicissitude?
crafting.
Yep.
It
Yep.
begins.
You can flesh craft things now.
I don't want to be a rug.
Although,
What's
me
to
some
stop
credit.
her from wanting to do it anyway?
Sorry.
Fuck
I
you.
don't want to be a grandfather clock.
I'm gonna walk into the fucking house and Nola's just gonna be like, moisturize me.
Oh god.
Oh God, am I? I
Turn
had,
him into a
I
Doctor
understand.
Who reference. Bravo.
Moisturize me
Bravo.
quickly.
Love it. Love to see it.
Oh god,
That's fucking funny.
that was great.
End me.
All right.
I'm a bank.
But
Just by the way.
bank. All right. No more expenditures from anyone?
Ranking.
All right. Well, that does it for everyone as far as the roleplay and the experience portion of the session. So now I suppose we can move on to some shout outs. So, Ox, why don't you give us a little bit of a shout out here?
Hi, I'm Moxie. I'm from Gathering of Nerds, which you can also find here on Twitch. We also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our VODs and stuff. We have multiple shows all week long, and yeah, so come join us and have a bit of fun.
And it only makes sense that since Gavin is also on that channel, that we do a little bit of transition into that too.
Yes, I am Lethality Complex, better known, well, I am Gavin, better known as Lethality Complex, and when I'm not getting my spine ripped out by Carnage, you can find me on Gathering of Nerds. Yeah, we do shows all through the week. Monday nights American time, we have Brisbane by Night River City Secrets, where upon I am the ST and Derek mocks and specs are my wonderful players, and Coffee is also a member of that little coterie when he can.
When I can. When I can
Yep,
do vignettes and, shit.
On Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, we have a multiplayer stream where we were last seen playing Monster Prom, and on Thursday nights American time we have The Gathering Presents, where we'll be going through an episode 2.5 of a Shadowrun game, along with probably the announcement of the next game to grace that little series. You can also find me You can also find me in Detroit by Night on Derek's channel, right here on Coffee's channel in San Antonio, and sporadically on Gathering of Nerds with the show I like to call Live at Midnight, where my insomniac butt plays video games until I decide I want to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Speaker, why don't you give us a little bit of an idea of where people can find you?
Hello everyone, I'm Spectre Deflector. You can find me on both Twitch, Discord, and Twitter there. Under Twitch and Twitter under the same username. With that, on Twitch, I do a couple different streams. I'm one of the community artists here, and you can typically find me Friday nights doing a Ghosting Hours art time, and that's at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Mondays and Thursdays, I'm also with Gathering of Nerds. On Mondays, doing Brisbane by Night, and Thursdays, following Shadowrun. And then on Wednesdays, you can find me here with San Antonio crew.
Me. And Derek, what you do? Where can people find you?
Well, everybody can end up finding me at Macabre Derek on Twitch. You can also end up finding me broadcasting every Sunday, where we end up doing a Detroit by Night overhaul, 7:30 Central Standard Time. And, well, I would end up saying normally I do drawing on the Macabre every single Thursday, but given recent events, it looks like I might be doing a huge schedule change. So I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned. If you're curious to end up seeing, we're going to be bringing a lot more content and a lot more discussion about the world of darkness, a lot more art, and maybe start going into some other fan favorite horror tabletop RPGs. I guess you're going to have to end up hitting the follow button in order to find out.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you to my lovely players for doing a fantastic job of role playing today. I love all of you sincerely. You all are great. And so, if you all would like to find more, go ahead and hit that follow button, please, or that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Every little bit helps to grow this channel so that we can do more and better content, specifically revolving around VTM for the most part, because why not? So, thank you all for joining us on this lovely time. And from all of us here in the Alamo City, say goodnight, everyone.
Good night this evening. Take care.
Good night.